Are you intentional about what you eat? So often we think about what we should avoid, but our bodies need certain foods and vitamins to function well. Authors Mark Hyman and Shawn Stevenson have been Kathy's most recent inspiration for fueling her body with the nutrients that it needs. Join her in making a small but consistent change to make a big impact on your health.
Hello friends, I'm Kathy Rotes. Thank you for again joining me today. We're going to think differently about healthy habits. I have a passion, maybe we can just call it an obsession, with everything health. I love reading about food that we choose or don't choose. I love reading about toxins. I mean, that does not sound enjoyable now that I say this out loud, but I like to read about stuff that goes into our body, whether it's intentional or not. And I like to be more empowered with my own life about what I choose to put in. Now, I was asked a few days ago, why am I passionate about this topic? I haven't always been passionate about it, so why? Well, I think what it is when I was younger, and I'm talking about like younger adult, I always thought and assumed that certain organizations in our world were always watching out for us. You know, the FDC, the CDC, the WHO, you know, World Health Organization. I always thought that if something was not good for us, they wouldn't allow things to be on the market. Well, that's not true. That's not true at all. They somehow have figured out a way to justify why it can be on the market, but it doesn't mean it's good for us. I remember a time when I used to work with different associations. I was in Chicago. I was talking to an association that creates food. And during my conversation with the executive, I tried to relate to them a little bit and maybe speak their language. And I said, oh yeah, I work with another organization. They create new recipes all the time. I love their creativeness. And the woman said, no, we don't create recipes. We create food. And I remember thinking to myself, you can't create food. Food is either grown from the ground or it's an animal that we kill. You can't create anything new when you're creating recipes, people. No, they're not. All those foods that I love, like macaroni and cheese, even things like tater tots or hamburger helper, or all of those are processed foods, and they're not whole. They're not original from what is grown or what is killed. So that was definitely a process. That was a starting point of this revelation that everybody's not watching out for me or my family. I need to become accountable for the food that I make and the food that I choose to eat. So I'm in the process of becoming certified with Dr. Daniel Amen. He's a brain, he scans brains, and he's a psychologist, and he has a brain health program that, I mean, I consume Dr. Daniel Amen's books and podcasts and other content all the time. So now I'm in his online training certification course. So you know what? It just feeds into my passion, right? I'm just continuing to consume this content. And Dr. Mark Hyman, I mean, he's partnered with Dr. Amen a lot in different books, like The Daniel's Plan. That was the first book that really opened my eyes. I love his content. I love Shawn Stevenson, has a great podcast, great cookbook that just came out. I love all of this. And really, when you read their books, I mean, Shawn Stevenson's cookbook has a book within a cookbook. It's pretty deep. It's pretty consuming. It's pretty scary, to be honest, when you really start diving in to the stuff we can buy, but if we're ignorant or unknowledgeable, we're not doing ourselves any favors. Well, because of this consumption I've been doing of content, and it's a piece of topic that I bring up a lot, I've been offering a healthy habits class to corporations. different corporations. It's just one of the training classes and one of the speaking topics that is included in my catalog. And I've really been surprised at how popular it's been. I have accounting firms requesting a healthy habits workshop. I have corporate people, I have healthcare asking for a healthy habits topic within a conference. I'm just shocked. I'm shocked about it because, well, I know not everybody's as geeky as I am and can get consumed and passionate about the things I love. But wow, maybe there's some little tidbits that I can be sharing, and that's exactly what they want. They don't want to become the expert. They don't want to get consumed and passionate like I am, but they want little tidbits that just make it easy to really adjust their habits, adjust their eating habits and their lifestyle. You know, back when I was a Pampered Chef consultant, that probably fed into my, by the way, I'm kind of giggling to myself every time I use these food words to describe the healthy habit topic. But anyway, you know, being a Pampered Chef consultant fed into a lot of the knowledge that I was gaining with food and how to even cook and how easy it can be to cook real healthy food. I mean, Pampered Chef taught me what I know in the kitchen. I wasn't very observant when I was in grade school or high school. I didn't spend time with mom in the kitchen, and then I regretted it, but you know, we find our other ways, right? So whether it's a healthy habits workshop or whether it's this podcast, whatever way that you find to change your habits a little bit that make you healthier, kudos to you. Well done. It's exactly what we need to do. Well, a few weeks ago, I had my yearly checkup and I had some blood work done, but I went into this checkup. I went into it ready. I had some things that I wanted checked specifically. I have some numbers that I follow with my own blood work, and I had some questions like, why is some things happening in my body? I feel I'm healthy. I exercise daily. I lift weights, I run, I've got the cardio going on, and I really have worked on changing my eating habits to be more whole health rather than processed and quick. So when I went to my appointment, I brought up some things. For example, in the last year, I've gained 10 pounds, and I haven't changed anything. If anything, I've gotten better in my eating habits and my exercise routine. What's this about? And my hair as well. My hair used to be down to my waist. I haven't cut it in, I don't know, 28 years, but it's shrinking. And I get it. It's turning gray. I'm getting older. Maybe there's a premenopausal thing happening. So I get it. It can all be justified. But is there anything else that I can have control over or that I can be empowered with? So while I was talking to the doctor, she said, well, we're going to take 3 vials of blood and we're going to run your blood work, not only the regular cholesterol, triglyceride type of panel, maybe that's called a lipid panel. Don't know my medical technical terms there. We're also going to run your hormones and we're going to run vitamin D. I said, oh, well, that's interesting. Okay. And then she went on to educate me a little bit and said, you know, most people in this neck of the woods has very low vitamin D. It's common in our region of the world. So I know I have friends in the southern hemisphere. I have friends in the northern hemisphere. I have friends in the southern part of the states. I'm in the northern part of the states. And physically, the world, the earth does not turn enough toward the sun for us to get a fair amount of vitamin D. In the summertime, I love being outside. I love being outside in the wintertime. But regardless, we still don't get enough vitamin D, and there really aren't many foods that give it to us either. So I guess the number we should have of vitamin D is around 60 or more than 60. My vitamin D came back at 23. I am definitely low on vitamin D. And when you do the research, well, it might make you tired. It might lose your hair quality, okay? Also, it might cause a weight gain. I mean, everything I was talking about could be vitamin D. And since I can't get it outside from the sun and as much as I need it, and the foods don't necessarily bring it, I need a supplement. I need a big supplement to really cover my vitamin D. Okay, well that's good to know, right? Well, then she also went on to tell me, when it comes to eating, focus on your protein and your fiber. I knew this. I knew this already. Because of all the studying I've been doing, I knew this. And actually, I have a notebook. If you're watching a video, I have my notebook in hand. I have a notebook where actually lesson 6 in my brain health certification course is all about nutrition. I've written a list of protein foods and fiber foods and how much I get with each of those foods, because I'm just naturally not one that gravitates toward protein or fiber. What do I gravitate toward? Well, I'll get to that in a minute. But I'm not a big eater of either of those. I like the foods, but it's just not where I focus. Well, this is what I'm learning. We need 100 grams of protein a day. This is what the doctor told me. I said, whoa, I thought it was 25 grams a day. She's like, oh no. It's 100 grams. And if you look at the palm of your hand, if you were to fill it with some kind of meat, like whether it's a hamburger or a piece of fish or chicken or pork chop, if it's the size of the palm of your hand, that's about 30 grams. We do really well with lunch and dinner getting that amount of protein. I mean, really, sometimes I might actually eat more protein than the size of my hand. But breakfast, we don't always do that great. So we have to be mindful of that. Well, here on my list, I started Googling, and here's some things that have protein. Eggs, 6 grams of protein per egg. Well, if I have 2 eggs every morning, awesome. By the way, Mythbuster, eggs are no longer bad for you. Eggs really don't affect your cholesterol. They are necessary in our diet. So make sure you have eggs. 2 eggs, okay, that's 12. I'm up to 12 grams in the morning. Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, great place for protein. Ooh, take cottage cheese and add chia seeds. Chia seeds, I didn't write down my grams of protein here in my notebook. We'll have to Google that. Chia seeds are a great form of protein. And you add a few chia seeds to your cottage cheese, double whammy. Now we're added up quickly. And then, of course, all kinds of different meats, seafood, salmon, mixed nuts. Mixed nuts, low on salt. We don't need the full salt, even though I like that. I can back off of that. Just a handful of mixed nuts a day does wonders to our bodies, more than just the protein. But that'll be for a different episode. Peanut butter, as long as it's not store-bought with lots of sugar. Just buy some peanuts, better yet, buy some cashews and blend it in a blender that does things like peanut butter. Pampered Chef has one. That's why, shameless plug, doesn't benefit me, but I love their blender. Make your own peanut butter. It's so delicious. You don't need the extra oils or sugar or salt. Make your own peanut butter. There's protein. Now, here's the thing. Fiber. I have the same kind of list for fiber. There's some foods that have massive amounts of protein and fiber, like chia seeds, quinoa. Oh wow, if I could do away with all pastas and rices and only have quinoa, so much healthier for us. And then also oatmeal. Oatmeal crosses over the protein and the fiber areas. Now for fiber, fiber is a little bit different of a calculation. It's not as easy to say 100 grams a day. You take your body weight, divide it in half, and then that's the amount of grams that you need in a day. So let's take some easy math. If you're 200 pounds, divide it in half is 100, you need 100 grams of fiber a day, which would be easy to remember, right? 100 grams of protein, 100 grams of fiber. So what kind of foods give some fiber? Well, a lot of vegetables and some fruits as well. Apples, strawberries, a lot of berries give fiber. Broccoli, carrots, acorn squash, pomegranate, beets, I love beets. Bananas, cauliflower, bran, which might be more like a cereal. I'm not really one to buy the cereals, but sweet potatoes, flax seeds. Flax seeds and chia seeds are really easy to add to anything. A smoothie on top of yogurt. They don't really have a taste. They have a texture, I guess, but not really a taste. They're kind of easy, and they really have a lot of good nutrients. Almonds also have a lot of great fiber. So the reason I'm really going through this with you is when I started Googling and making my list, wow, it's not hard. It's not hard, but for grams of fiber, like carrots, 1 cup of carrot is 5 grams. If I need 100, okay, that's a lot of cups of carrots. To just know how much fiber is in your food, how much you need to eat, that brings a whole different understanding for me. I mean, I literally have a piece of paper on my refrigerator where I will track my grams of protein and fiber during the day because it's not a habit for me to eat this stuff naturally. I have to really document this to understand maybe how much food I need to eat, how much vegetables I need to cut up on a Sunday to be ready for my week of snacking. By the way, a great snack is cut up veggies like celery, carrots, broccoli, and dip it in salsa. I make my own salsa, so I know there's no sugar in it. It's purely tomatoes, onion, jalapenos, hot peppers of all sorts. Totally healthy, and what a great way to spice up your snack. Or an apple dipped in peanut butter for an afternoon snack. You know, when you really think about all of the different nutrients we need to add to our body, and you write it out and you see it, it's a lot of food to eat in a day. I don't eat this much food in a day. So if I'm ever hungry, well, that's on me. Because if I went back to this plan, I shouldn't be hungry. You know, the other thing that the doctor mentioned is gut health. So prebiotics, probiotics. Probiotics are things like your Greek yogurts. Kefir is another. I use that a lot in my smoothies. It's more of a thick drink. It just helps kind of thicken my smoothies. Really good probiotics. Prebiotics, by the way, she's like, don't get too crazy about that. It's just a fancy word for fiber. Okay, I can stick with that. But just to be in this know, and a lot of things that I've been researching, and the doctor said it too, when you do eat your protein and your fiber, you're actually going to see a weight decrease. When you're eating the right things for your body, you are going to see your weight go down. Huh. Well, here's the other thing that I've been watching personally, and that is my glucose numbers. Glucose is sugar, and we get glucose naturally from different fruits, from different foods. Well, we also get it because of sugar, and there's way too much sugar in this world. That's a whole different episode for the future where I'll talk about some crazy sugar numbers. But for me personally, back in 2020, I had a little bit of a scare. I had my blood work done, and the doctor thought I was pre-diabetic. And my mindset for that is, heck no. No way. No way. I have control over this. I am not going to start taking medicine for something that I can control. Now, to just backtrack a little bit in my life, give you a little bit of a understanding of where glucose and sugar lie in my passion zone, I'll brag on my mom a little bit. She's an amazing baker. The banana breads, the Texas cake brownies, the cookies, she just has always been an amazing baker. And then, of course, there's always like fudge at Christmas time, or ice cream's always in the freezer, Oreo cookies. I mean, dessert is definitely a piece of every meal. And so this is how I grew up, and I love all of this. Banana bread and brownies were always on the kitchen table, and that was my breakfast. I was an adult. When I was making banana bread for myself, I finally realized that just because there's bananas in this, it's still bread, and really it's just a thick cake. It's a banana cake that I'm eating right now. Let's add some cream cheese frosting to it. Sweets are my habit, okay? I love sweets. I love ice cream. But sugar is just as bad as alcohol and cocaine. It does to our body what alcohol and cocaine does to our body. And sugar is a habit. So even though I grew up with it, I have a great baker in the family who's taught me these great recipes, it's going to affect my body. It's going to catch up with me. So in 2020, when I had the scare, I had to go in for an intense blood work to make sure that I was pre-diabetic, or I wasn't. I wasn't, thank goodness. I mean, really, to be honest, when I really looked back at my calendar, the week before my blood work, the initial blood work, my daughter was visiting and we had an ice cream binge every night. We had ice cream. It was so wonderful with hard shell chocolate and whipped cream. Well, duh, that's going to spike your glucose numbers, right? Your glucose numbers should be below 100. Well, in 2022, last year, they were 96. Okay, I'm below 100. This is good. But you know what? I can get it down more. I don't need sugar in my body. I know this. And when I can purge sugar out of my menu, out of my system, I actually don't really want it anymore. Well, this year, my number's 93. Yay! Still kind of high for me, but it's going down. It's going down. So, you know, when it comes to healthy habits, I found a number that I want to see decrease. I found a number that I want to monitor. And it's kind of that internal competition going on. So whatever I've shared here today, whatever maybe new idea that you heard, whatever knowledge that you gained, I have a challenge for you. I want you to find one thing to be healthier about. I understand how overwhelming it is to realize that you've created some bad eating habits or some poor exercise habits. And to get into the new routine, you want to see results immediately, right? You want to feel better, you want to lose weight, you want to see the muscle definition, whatever, but you don't see it that fast. It's all about consistency. We need to be consistently following these healthy habits to really see some long-term changes. But we have to start with one thing, one adjustment. So maybe it's eating more quinoa. Maybe it's eating apple or making your own peanut butter. Maybe it's having your own number that you're tracking to see it reduce, like glucose is for me. Maybe it's reducing your sugar in a way. Maybe it's using olive oil and not canola oil, or use butter, not margarine, because those are more real foods. Margarine is all chemical. By the way, soda, pop, all chemicals. There's nothing real in it. Get it out of your menu. Get it out of your daily habit. Choose one thing, just one thing, and start to change your habits so that you do become healthier. I know it's my passion. I know I get geeky about it, but my goal is to share. Just share with you. Share with you to make it easy. So I hope today's topic has challenged you to think differently. Just think differently about your health and your habits. You have the power to control your health, because you're the one who chooses your habits. Know your numbers and please make wide food choices. Be healthy today, my friends.